everybody, and welcome to another episode of We Ain't Them podcast. My name is Kev, alongside my lovely co-host, Eb.
Hey, how y'all doing? We're back.
We're back. I know it's been a while since we've been on, but life was lifing.
Life be lifing.
And we just needed a little sabbatical, but we are back. So again, follow us on all social media platforms at We Ain't Them _. Follow us at YouTube, like and subscribe as well at We Ain't Them. So Eb, I know we said that life was lifing, but what's going on with you now? How are you feeling? You know, how's the vibes? Or is it really just still work, school, bid?
Yeah, you said it.
Okay.
You said it.
Okay.
I don't know my ass from my elbow most days. No, life is lifing out here. Like, honestly, I'm just taking it one day at a time, and I don't know. You? What's going on with you?
I mean, life has been real interesting lately. Dating is still ghetto.
I heard.
Shout out to Hamilton. You know who you are. That's it. You know, a little sham, you know.
We'll
We'll
talk.
Off camera.
We'll talk.
Off camera. But no, thank you guys again for coming back. So we are coming back with a topic that has been hitting social media for over, 2 years at this point? And we haven't really talked about it. But I think it's getting to a point where we really need to have this discussion and just kind of see viewpoints and really just get it out there, you know, definitely as, you know, African-American, Black people itself, but then also coming from a Caribbean influence just to kind of talk about this. So what we are going to be talking about today is going to be the sassy man complex, or as the internet has deemed it, the sassy man apocalypse.
Niggas is bored.
So, as annoying as this is, TikTok is coining too many trends such as this and the soft girl era and other things, which we've had a discussion on already.
I remember.
But the sassy man apocalypse has been used to describe the prominence of expressive men with bigger attitudes, sometimes deemed to be feminine. Initially, sassy was used as a derogatory or homophobic manner, but viewers on TikTok and Instagram really love to go on ahead and use this term. In doing some research, I found this interesting list on Twitter or X, whichever you want to call it. It's always going to be Twitter to me. I don't care about nobody's X and Elon Musk.
Yeah, facts.
But Lust Sierra released this list and said, these are the things that make a man sassy. And I will read it off to you. So men that are sassy, 1, can cook. 2, argue with women that they don't know on the internet. 3, let girls pump their own gas. 4, just argue on the internet in general or have internet beef. 5, expect their girl to go 50-50 on bills. 6, wear tighty whities. 7, brush back their tongues and gag. Oh, gosh.
It gets worse, bro. Just continue.
8, call Target Target. 9, drink out of a straw. 10, don't know how to dance, know how to dance too good. 11, don't know how to change a tire or do an oil change. 12, wear a fanny pack. 13, are homophobic. And last but not least, 14, post too many pictures on social media. So, Eb, what do you think of this list?
Where do I fucking begin? All right, so let me just say this.
I must be sassy. Hold on. Go ahead.
All right, so, you know, Kevin, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember that time a long, long time ago, back in the old slavery days, where a young man took a woman to the Cheesecake Factory? Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. And she would not get out of the car because she doesn't eat at the Cheesecake Factory.
Right. And remember how, as a result of that video, a bunch of men and women, I think women did it too, a bunch of men, mostly men, came out with lists of the type of women they wouldn't date, and then women came out with a list, right? Of places that they would prefer to go or would not go, places to go on a date. But I remember significantly the men, right, who came out with these lists. Oh, if you still live with your mom, you're undateable. If you have a tattoo, you're undateable. Remember that? Do you remember how it made us feel?
It made me feel like this was a whole bunch of bullshit and everybody was just fucking bored with their lives. But...
Right. So I remember how it made us feel. Right? So now I'm hearing this list. Just number one alone.
Number one can cook.
So Chef Gordon Ramsay is sassy?
Gotta be.
I mean...
Or does this only apply to black men?
Did they have a racial preference?
No racial preference here. But I just find it very interesting.
Yeah, like this is absolutely... There's some things on this list that I do agree with.
Okay.
Men that argue with women, that's a dub. That's a dub. Now, men who are homophobic, that's a dub.
That's a dub.
That's an absolute dub. But my God, I mean, there are some things I agree with, but here's my thing, and here's my issue with it. The things that I do agree with, I wouldn't call any of this shit sassy.
Okay.
Right? I think this list was made to talk about not sassiness, but an ick.
Okay.
It's more of an
I like
ick.
that perspective.
And using the word sassy, right? I feel it contributes to the emasculation of the black. You see, as a people, I'm talking about from the African diaspora, as black people, we always talk about, oh, this is gonna break down the black man, and oh, they put a gay character in this cartoon. That's it. No, this is not what's contributing to a gay agenda. This is not. No, none of those things are. Using the word sassy is just. And especially because from what I'm looking at, this looks like it's describing heterosexual men.
Yes.
So somebody who cooks is sassy. That doesn't make much sense to me. Because I'll tell you personally, I don't cook in my relationship. I used to. My fiance cooks. He's cooked so much that I don't even know how to cook. I can't even make a pata pilau anymore. So my thing is, we didn't like it, right? When Kevin Samuels was saying all these things about if you're over 30, if you're this, if you weigh this much, if you have 2 kids. We did not like it. And I remember how it made some of us feel, although some of y'all love to call in and be abused by this man, because that's what y'all did. But I remember how it made a lot of us feel. So for us to come out with this type of list, and then the list doesn't make sense. Tidy whities makes you sassy? I understand tidy whities are not attractive.
I don't know no grown man that wears tidy whities, but that's also, if that's your preference, that's your preference. That's fine.
That's not attractive. As a woman, I don't think that's attractive, but I think we need to find a new word. Like, why, what is this? Like, I need to understand.
So, personally, I think that the word sassy has been weaponized by women.
Okay.
Especially, cisgendered heterosexual women. I think it's been weaponized.
You can take the L.
I can't blame them for weaponizing it at all. Because, again, if we're talking about what men have called women itself, we've called you guys bitches.
Yeah.
Called you guys sluts, whores, trash bag, treesh, all this other stuff. There's so many different words that we use to describe a woman who we may not personally or romantically like in that sense. However, when you guys use that back on us, it doesn't really hit. Or we're like, are you calling us that? It's whatever, but whatever. Call it a day. However, when you use the term sassy, that definitely strikes a nerve.
Right.
Especially when it says, like, it's been used in the past to describe homophobic men. Jesus Christmas. Homosexual men, right? So now that you're going on ahead and using that towards straight black men, it's going on ahead, and now it hits on a different level. Right. You know what I mean? And we already know about the homophobia that comes to us in general.
In our community,
so now that we're going on ahead and we're using this word, it kind of makes me sit there, and I'll keep it 100. Any woman that uses the word sassy to describe another man to me, I look at you kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because then you're the same person who looks at my face like, oh, I'm an ally, I'm somebody, I support the gay community, whatever the case may be. But you're using this term. Mm-hmm. And for what? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense. Now, I can understand that some of these things, like you said, fighting on the internet.
Right.
I agree with that 100%. Like, we're just sitting here looking at our screens on our phones and really just going in for hours on hours about different topics. I think that's weird. I think that's strange. I think that you should pick up a hobby.
Right.
However, I just think that it's childish. It's not grown. You know what I mean? It is, for lack of a better term, stupid.
Right.
But the moment that you weaponize the word sassy and use that towards a man, it just literally goes to demean that person. Especially when we're talking about, and again, there's a lot of my girlfriends and, chat on the internet, I want a man that's healed. I want a man that goes to therapy. I want a man that's in touch with his feelings. I want a man that can truly communicate with me.
Okay. Go ahead. Because,
you turn around and a man is trying to do these things with you, and you use the word sassy. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's the thing with me. And I think that's what, like I'm going to talk about the list real quick. What upsets me about the list is that the things that they're saying are sassy or deemed as sassy. It's like, what are you talking about? So a man can't use a straw? No. Next thing, I'm surprised they didn't say, oh, if a man eats a banana, he's sassy. Like, I'm surprised that's not on the list. Like, that seems like the route they were taking. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry, I'm saying they, her, she. I just feel like, and I like that you brought up that a lot of us ask for a man that's healed. Mm-hmm. In the Black community, a lot of us need therapy. If not 100%. If not all of us. I'm not in the dating world, but I heard that the dating pool is full of piss. And it's reasons like this as to why the pool is full of piss, right? I say this, right? When it comes to this list and just the whole, what is it, Sassy Apocalypse?
The Sassy Man Apocalypse.
The Sassy Man Apocalypse, right. So, I will say this. Calling a man sassy, to me, seems as though you don't want a man to express his feelings. You know what I mean? Like I've heard some men, not all, there's some men who are just macho men, which those are the ones that need the therapy. But macho men, but though I'm talking about the men that want to, emotionally express themselves. I've heard men say that I can't express myself. If I cry, I'm called a bitch, and this, that, and third, right? Now, because I'm on the fence with this, right? Okay. There are some men that do express their feelings, and there are some men that are emotionally unintelligent. Mm-hmm. Unintelligent. And I think we can't use the word sassy to express that, because outside of this list, I've had friends tell me about, like, they went on dates and stuff like that, and things didn't go right. I think, oh God, I was about to call her name. But you met her before. You met my homegirl before.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So she told me, this is way before she met her guy. She was on a date, and this guy invited her out. He invited her on the date. Mm-hmm. Now, she went on a date with him, and when the bill came, he wanted her to go half and half. Which, now listen, and this is why you carry your Vex money, ladies, right?
Number 5 on the list.
You're right. No, but that's bills. I mean, well, yeah, bill, right? But my thing is, her argument with him was like, you invited me on the date, you asked me out, you picked the restaurant. And he's like, oh, because I invited you out, you expect me to pay for it?
Yes.
But this is what I'm saying. And I think that's what they will call sassy.
Okay.
That's what they refer to. That's sassy. Like, you want me to go half and half. It's like going out with your homegirl and you go half and half on the bill. You know what I mean?
I think,
And then there are other instances where guys was like, I saw a video the other day where this woman went on a date with a guy. This was on, shout out to Yanni. I'm sorry if you don't know who she's awesome. Check out Yanni's page. She's really good. But yeah, I was on Yanni's page and she posted this video of this woman. She went on a date with a guy and he wanted her to go home with her. And she said no. She's like, no, like, honestly, like, I'm going to go home. Thank you for the date. This is amazing or whatever. He's like, oh, you're not coming home with me? And I think you've seen plenty of, like.
I've seen plenty of situations like this.
And it's like, they will call that sassy. Like, oh, you're mad because I don't want to go home with you. But I don't think that's sassy. That's just emotionally unintelligent. You're not emotionally intelligent enough to say, hey, you know what? She doesn't want to go home with me. That's her. She has autonomy to do that. That's her right. You know, or, okay, like, you know, you invited a girl out. Mm-hmm. You picked the restaurant. You invited me out. And you didn't even discuss. You didn't give me a heads up, nothing, you know?
But when do we, and let's keep it 100 here.
Yeah.
In this situation, especially with dating, before we get to the restaurant, mm-hmm. before we even get to 50-50 and any type of terms being labeled sassy, when do we take the time to truly get to know someone, have a conversation with them to see if they're on the same emotional or even level as us?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy for you to be talking to somebody, to feel comfortable enough to go out on a date with them, to even assume that, like, oh, okay, he's going to pay the whole bill or whatnot, right? Mm-hmm. And then a conversation of 50-50 comes up. Mm-hmm. When was the conversation had before that in order to go on ahead and understand the situation that we're going into?
Right.
And then once we're in the situation and it doesn't go our way or the way that we expected, now we go on ahead and weaponize a word like that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, like, I agree with you.
It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So in all of these situations itself, it makes absolutely no sense. At what point do we go on ahead and look for that emotional intelligence? So now I do have a question for you on this topic. Mm-hmm. So do you feel like sassy men are more emotionally intelligent or less emotionally intelligent?
But that's the thing. I don't want to use the word sassy to describe that.
Exactly.
To describe them. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're that's what I was saying. They're not emotionally intelligent. Like, if you get mad because I don't go home with you after the first date, you have a problem, sir. You got a problem. Like, if you don't, like, little things like that, that's silly. I'm not even going based off, I can't base anything talking about sassy off of this list. Mm-hmm. Kevin, it's stupid.
It is.
Tighty whities, I don't find it attractive. Let the record show. I don't like tighty whities. That's wild. If you're my age, yes, I'm in my 30s, and you're wearing tighty whities, that's your choice. But it's not, I'm telling you, as a woman, we don't like it. I think tighty whities is a kink. It has to be a kink.
Listen, there's a kink out there for everybody.
That's why I'm saying it has to be a kink. Because someone likes it, I know most women don't.
And then again, even in kinks, and we don't kink shame over here, you know. Some of your homegirls won't tell you that they like it, but they might sit there, be in their bedrooms, talk about, And again, even on this topic that we're talking on, a lot of y'all in the public sit here and contradict yourselves.
Hello.
Because you sit here, talk all this shit, sit there and be like, nah, that man's sassy, he's this, he's that, whatever the case may be, talking to your homegirl, but then you text him at night.
Oh,
no,
different.
You text him at night. You text him at night when he's sitting there being vulnerable with you and everything and sort of like that, and feels like it's you labeled this safe space for him. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh my god, he's this and he's that. But then you get around your homegirls and your friends is like, you're dogging him out. So again, where do you give a man a safe space to be a man?
That's what I'm saying. And that's again, the thing.
And also, it has nothing to really even do with gender roles. I'm just really saying, like, when you give that person a space for that itself. Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense if you're going to weaponize this word against someone. Right. Again, if we're looking for somebody that has a high emotional intelligence, if we're looking for somebody to be vulnerable, if we're looking for somebody to build with, your partner or anybody that you're speaking to should go on ahead and you should be able to be the neck to the head.
All right.
Come on now. That person in the relationship with you should not be able to move without you.
Okay, come on now.
But if we're going to go on ahead and say and weaponize this word, especially in what's happening here, it doesn't make sense. If we're talking about a cis heteronormative world, we are seeing trends that we're getting married later.
Oh, yeah.
We're finding partners later. but we're also spending more times on our phones, on these social media trends, adopting these words into our culture and into the way that we go on ahead and live our lives. And then ask the question, why isn't this happening for me?
Right.
Maybe we need to do a little introspective inside to figure out how we can change these little details in order to really find what we're looking for.
Yeah. And I think that's why I'm brought up, like, how Sassy emasculates cis hetero men, because they're trying to find that. Like I said, I've heard men, Black men, say, I want, like, if I cry, I can't cry. Like, and I mentioned this in a previous episode. As a Black boy growing up, you're made at such an early age to just be so tough, and so you're not allowed to cry. And if you grow up and you got your girl, if you cry, it's like you're a bitch. Crying is a human emotion. Being sad is a human emotion. And when you don't have control of that because you're never allowed to express it, that's how you end up getting men like a Kevin Samuels. That's how you end up getting men like an Andrew Tate. That's how you end up getting men that are abusive emotionally, financially, physically. This is how we end up with these type of men. And then we turn around as Black women and say, oh, men ain't shit. Now, I've had my fair share of ain't shit men. And I'll tell you this. The number one component with them is that they didn't know how to manage their emotions, and that spilled into how they treated me. We all go through it, and I wish we would stop. And like you said, we need to stop. These are the little tweaks in our world as Black people that fucks us over in the long run. Like I said, I'm not in the dating pool anymore, but y'all keep telling me the shit got piss in it. Why? Because of words like sassy and things like that. You know, I get it. Like I said, going back to the list, there are some things on this list I'm sorry. You arguing with a woman, that's not, to me, that's not, why? Why are we doing that? But drinking from a straw is a human thing. Like, everybody has to drink from a straw. Like, come on. Like, we gotta stop this shit. Cooking, a lot of y'all, like, this is a woman who wrote this.
This is a woman who wrote this.
Girl, bitch, you're bitter. And you wish you got a man to cook for you. So enjoy. What's her name? La Sierra? La Sierra. Hi, honey. My name is Eccentric Ebbs. Follow me on Instagram. Enjoy slaving over a hot fucking stove for a man that probably has more than one bitch. Moving on.
Woo.
No, I'm sorry. I just had to say that. Like, what?
Nah, I hear you. I hear you.
What? Can cook? Girl,
I do want to take this in a different route, though.
Okay.
So again, with this topic of a sassy man and certain things that are on this list, right? How does this topic affect Caribbean men? And does it challenge the traditional gender norms and expectations within our community?
Okay. So I'm still stuck on the cook thing. I don't know not one Caribbean man that can't cook, except for my dad, that can't cook. Mm-hmm. So
I throw down, baby.
Like, what?
I throw down, baby.
Yeah, like, what? I don't know any Caribbean man that can't cook. So is every Caribbean man is sassy? Wait, I gotta see what else is on this list again.
Hold on. So if we're gonna go through the list of what would be, sassy for Caribbean man,
please.
Where's the fanny pack?
You know how much Caribbean man during Carnival wearing the fanny pack on the side?
I need my fanny pack. What are you talking about? I need my... Hello? Where's my phone gonna go while I'm walking up on the road?
Hello. They wear it on their waist. They strap. I love when they strap. And they got the pecs. Sorry, babe. And they got the pecs and they strap it to the side and you see them walking and they... That ain't sassy. I don't know what the fuck sassy is. Continue.
All right. They know how to dance too good.
That's 90% of Jamaican men, and Haitian men with the slinky waist, and Trini men with the slinky waist. Stop playing. Catch a Trini man on Carnival Tuesday. Catch a Jamaican man during do they still have Wetty Wednesdays? I'm taking it back to 2009.
Listen, they just freed vibes, bro. That's it.
Catch a Jamaican man at a bashment party. Catch a Haitian man doing the compa. Like, stop playing.
I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the way I grew up...
Caribbean men do argue with women, though.
Oh, Lord.
I have video footage. I was in Trinidad 1 year. This was in 2017. I was in Trinidad. If you're a Trinidadian, all they know about Arapita Road, or is it Avenue Road? Arapita Road. That's where all like the nightlife is. Right in front of Smokey and Bunty, I see a man. I see a man and a woman arguing. He was in a car. She was with her girls crossing the street. I don't know what caused the argument, but he was like, "Your big belly, long breast." He was wilding on her. It's like, "Go suck your mother." Like it was wild. It was wild. And not to say that, like, honestly, that's not how all Trini people act, but that was an interaction I saw. And I've seen West Indian men argue with women. I've seen it. You know you've seen it. I have seen it too.
I have seen it. I have seen it.
So that needs to stop. I really feel like that is one thing about like, we ain't perfect.
We're
not perfect.
And we gonna argue. I'm sorry, we gonna argue. That's it. I've seen my parents argue down. You know what I mean?
Period.
Aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever.
Yeah,
I've seen us argue down. However, I do feel like we are people full of passion and pride.
Yes, we
and
are.
Sometimes that pride is a little too much.
Yep.
And we gotta dial it back. Hence why we need therapy. You know,
if you are from the African diaspora, I don't care if you're American,
that's true,
foreign, black, I don't care. Therapy. Once you are part of the transatlantic slave trade, transcontinental, whatever they call it. Did I say transatlantic?
You said transatlantic. It wasn't just the Atlantic, sis.
Okay, sorry. Blame the Jameson. Transcontinental slave trade, you need fucking therapy, okay? Because as we talk about we Caribbean and stuff, our ancestry does not stop at Haiti or Trinidad.
Oh, 100%.
It goes somewhere else. It goes back to Africa.
100%.
I'm sorry. Did I say transatlantic?
It's all good. It's all good. But no, I agree with what you're saying. I think that it depends on the way that you view it. Because again, when you look at it from a Caribbean standpoint, this is just part of our culture. This is who we are as people, you know, 100%. Like, I remember like being in high school, I'm Willie bouncing.
Period.
You know what I mean?
We was all really bouncing.
I'm doing everything. You know what I mean? I want to know all the dances. Mm-hmm. Teach me how to Dougie in college and all that. I'm doing a jerk. I'm doing all them dances.
Right.
Like, that was part of our culture. That's the way that we grew up.
Right.
And I feel like that was before a time where a term named Sassy came out, you know? So again, I just hate that we use these social constructs to go on ahead and minimize who we want to be as a person, minimize the way that we want to have fun, minimize the way that we want to go on ahead and express ourselves. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense. And again, overall, and I know I've talked a lot in a heteronormative standpoint, but even in a queer standpoint as well. Like, again, what's funny is I had a employee of mine the other week, and we were talking. She was like, "Oh my God, Kevin, you're just so sassy." And I was like, I'm cool with my employees. Don't get me wrong. I'm cool with my employees. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who you are. But I had to stop, and I was just like, don't call me that.
Right. Right.
And she's like, oh my God. And I was just like, and she was like, oh my God, I didn't mean to offend you. I was like, it's not that you offended me.
Right.
It's the fact that, again, that's a word that's used that's a word used as a weapon, and that's just not something that I want even associated with me.
Right.
Call me fun. Call me loud.
Yeah.
Call me boisterous.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. Call me eccentric. I'll be eccentric Kev so you eccentric Ebs. Like, call it a day.
Call him loquacious. I'm trying to recover from the
SAT
word. Yeah, I am trying to recover from transatlantic. So call him loquacious.
Yeah, call me all of that. But like, that word is just, we're not gonna associate that with me at all. But honestly, Eb, I think this was a great conversation.
Period.
I think that we really got to the end root of everything.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I just want people to be who they are. Mm-hmm. I want people to express themselves the way that they want to express themselves. And all right, I'm going to get a little personal. In my recent breakup and in my healing and in my journey of just getting back in the dating world that does have piss in the water. Mm-hmm. It 100% has piss in the water. But in my journey of really just trying to find somebody that's more suitable as my partner and who was able to meet me on an emotional, physical, and intellectual level, it's been really hard. However, you know, even in dating and meeting people and going out and everything so like that, you know, I've had those conversations and I've really gotten to know these people before going out on a date with them or agreeing to go out on a date with them. For me, it's not as superficial as, yo, he looked mad good.
Period.
He said,
we got to get past that.
Oh, like, yo, he looked mad good. He got a car. He got his own crib, making over 6 figures, whatever the case may be. Says that he got his shit together, ain't been with nobody in so long. All right, let me just go out with him.
Right.
Nah, bro. Like, we need to have conversations to really see if we're equally yoked together to even consider going out on a date with you. So I just implore anybody who's dating or exploring that option, just to make sure to have those conversations, ask those tough hitting questions first. And if that person blocks you, then take that as a blessing.
Yeah.
Stop calling it sassy and going on ahead and trying to put something to justify it. No, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
If that person sits there and wilds out in front of you before you even really get to know him that way, take that as a blessing.
Amen.
Because at the end of the day, that person wasn't there for you. Going ahead and giving it a term of sassy or whatever you want to give it a term as, calling him a bitch, calling him an ain't shit nigga, all that other stuff. Yeah, that's cool in the moment, but at the end of the day, it was a blessing that God used to block you for. And again, you may not be religious, that's also fine, but it's a blessing that that person was not in your life.
Yeah.
What about you, Ebs?
My final thoughts are, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel like as Black women, we need to allow just how we want a space for ourselves to feel safe amongst Black men, be respected, feel well-deserved, feel soft and feminine. I feel like we need to give Black men that are worthy of our time, because not all are, right? We need to give Black men that are worthy of our time the same grace. And if he does something you don't like, communication is key. If it's beyond communication, then maybe, like you said, and you may not be religious. It may not be God for you. It may be Buddha, whomever. It may just be a sign from the universe. That's why they're there. Listen to them. Stop with the red flag shit. And trust your gut, you know? Trust your gut. And like I said, please give men who you deem worthy of your time a safe space to, you know, vocalize their feelings, express their feelings. If you feel they're overwhelming, let him know. Let him know. Maybe he's not in therapy. That may be a better option for him to express his feelings elsewhere, you know? But we need to come to a space as a people where we love one another organically. Fuck all this extra shit where, oh, he don't make that. Like, yes, you have to have your standards, and you should. But if this person makes all this money, he has all this, he bought you a Birkin bag, and he's a piece of shit, and he doesn't treat you good, or he's sassy, right? Then what, you know? We need to stop using these words. We need to communicate. We need to allow to give each other the space to be vulnerable, to express ourselves. Men want to express themselves. They have not had the opportunity to. And if they had, it was misplaced. It was misunderstood. So I really feel like we need to go back to basics, not in terms of, like, I'm not talking about in a regression, like a regressive way, like the way how Black men or men in general used to treat women.
Right.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how we treat each other, people who we love. And yeah, that's all I need to say. That's all I think I have to say.
And just to add one thing to add on to what you said, because everything that you said was gospel. Yeah. 100% gospel. The only thing that I want to add to that is also understand that in life we've learned lessons. 100%. Like, anything that we've been through is a lesson. A scar that we have that we can recognize is a lesson from that. Every interaction that we have. Never doubt if you may be a lesson for someone.
Ooh.
Because there could be a situation in which you give a man grace and you just literally say, you know what? Maybe this is too much for me. Right. Maybe this isn't what I need. Maybe this red flags that I see isn't actually a roller coaster like AD and Clay on Love is Blind. Okay. You know, I'm sorry. I love the show. But I'm just saying, like, maybe something in that is a lesson. And it's all right to be a lesson for someone or for somebody to be a lesson to you.
Right.
If that man is aggressive or emotional or doing too much or whatnot, it's a lesson for you too. And just like, it's not for me. You know,
Yeah, because they're not in a space to, yeah, right.
So I definitely agree with you on that.
All right.
All right. But again, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of We Ain't Them. Again, look out for more content from us. I know that we've been gone for a little bit, but we've been doing our shorts. We've been doing our individual videos. Shout out to Ra and Ebs on that. But again, look out for more content from us. But other than that, we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, y'all.
Later, y'all.